The contemporary art market is not about art. It is a brutal, high-stakes game of status, speculation, and consensus, played by a handful of billionaire collectors and powerful gallery owners. They don't buy what they like. They buy what they are told to like. They follow the trend. But a new, invisible player was about to rewrite the rules of the game. He was a ghost, a myth in the auction houses of New York and London, known only by his code name, Midas. He did not follow the trend. He created it. No one knew his real identity. He was a whisper, a legend. His strategy was simple, and to the art world, insane. Through a network of anonymous agents, he would find and buy the entire collection of a single, unknown, struggling artist, an artist whose work possessed a raw, undeniable, but completely uncommercial genius. He would find them in the grimy lofts of Brooklyn, the forgotten studios of Berlin, the street markets of Sao Paulo. He was not just buying paintings, he was buying souls. Futures, entire bodies of work for pennies on the dollar. For a year, the paintings would vanish into his private, unseen collection. Midas did nothing. He waited. He let the art world continue its frantic, fashionable dance. Then he would begin his campaign. He would not promote the artist, he would promote the idea of the artist. He would anonymously fund a glowing review from a respected but struggling art critic. He would have one of the paintings accidentally seen in the background of a famous architect's magazine photo shoot. He would place a single piece in a small, hip, trend-setting gallery. He was not selling the art, he was seeding the conversation. The art world, desperate for the next big thing, would inevitably take the bait. The critic's review would create a buzz. The celebrity sighting would create hype. The small gallery show would sell out in minutes. A fire of curiosity would start, and Midas, from the shadows, would simply and quietly fan the flames. The artist he had chosen, once a complete unknown, was now the hottest, most talked about name in the art world. But their art was nowhere to be found, because Midas owned it all. With the art world desperate for the artist's work, Midas began the harvest. He would release a single painting from his collection to a major auction house, just one. The bidding would be apocalyptic. Billionaires who had been unable to get their hands on the work would now fight to the death for the only piece available. A painting that Midas had bought for a few $1,000s would now sell for $50, $60, $100 million. He was not just selling a painting, he was selling entry into the most exclusive club in the world. This was his formula. Find a genius, buy them out, create a myth, manufacture scarcity, then sell that scarcity for a fortune. He repeated this process year after year with a series of different unknown artists. He became the most powerful and feared force in the art world, a ghost who could turn paint into platinum. He never made a mistake. His taste was absolute. Every artist he touched became a global superstar. Every painting he sold shattered a world record. He was the kingmaker, and his unseen kingdom was the most profitable in the world. But a single brilliant art journalist, a woman named Lena Petrova, a nod to our previous hero suggesting a shared universe, began to see the pattern. She noticed that every overnight sensation of the last 5 years had been preceded by the same subtle, anonymous pattern of promotion. She began to investigate not the artists, but the ecosystem around them. She was not hunting for a man, she was hunting for a formula, a ghost in the market's machine. She was hunting Midas. Midas, from his command center, saw her coming. His own systems, which monitored the flow of information, detected her investigation. She was smart, relentless, and getting dangerously close to one of his anonymous shell corporations. He saw her not as a threat, but as a new, interesting variable in the game. He decided not to stop her. He decided to play with her. He began to feed her information, anonymously, leading her on a wild goose chase, a complex game of cat and mouse through the shell corporations and offshore accounts of his invisible empire. Lena realized she was being played. Every lead she followed, every clue she uncovered felt too perfect, too clean. She understood that Midas was not trying to evade her, he was studying her, testing her. So she changed her tactics. She stopped hunting the man and started hunting his philosophy. She began to write a series of brilliant, insightful articles, not about the conspiracy, but about the psychology of the art market. She wrote about the myth of the overnight sensation, the power of manufactured scarcity, the deep human need for consensus. She was not trying to expose Midas. She was writing an open letter to him, proving that she, and she alone, truly understood the beautiful, cynical game he was playing. Her articles created a new kind of buzz. She was becoming a star in her own right, the one critic who could see the matrix of the art world. Midas, for the first time, was faced with an opponent he couldn't control or dismiss. She was not a competitor, she was a mirror. He made a decision that went against every rule of his anonymous existence. He sent her an invitation, not to a meeting, but to a game. A single encrypted message with the coordinates to a private jet and a simple challenge. You've analyzed the game, let's see how you play. She was flown to his private secret museum, a vast, minimalist subterranean gallery that held the most valuable private art collection in the world. And there, she finally met him, Midas. He was not a shadowy villain. He was a quiet, intense, and deeply intelligent man. He led her to a single empty room. In the center of the room were two easels. On one was a new, brilliant painting by his latest unknown protege. On the other was a perfect blank canvas. "I am retiring," he said. "My formula has become predictable. The game is no longer interesting." He then made her an offer. He would give her the painting, a piece that would be worth $100 million in a year. Or he would give her the blank canvas, his entire network, his formula, his resources, and the chance to become the new Midas. Lena looked at the painting, the instant fortune. She looked at the blank canvas, the terrifying power. And she saw the trap. She saw that to become him, she would have to become as cynical as he was. She would have to manipulate, to manufacture, to play God. She had spent her career searching for the truth. This was her final test. She looked him in the eye and gave her answer. "I'll take the painting," she said, "but not to sell it. I'm going to give it to a public museum. The world deserves to see this genius now, not when you decide they are ready." Midas, for the first time in his calculated life, was truly impressed. He had built his empire on the predictable greed and ambition of the art world. Lena's choice was a variable he had not foreseen. He laughed, a genuine, appreciative laugh. "Well played, Miss Petrova," he said. He honored their deal. The painting was given to her. And true to her word, she immediately and publicly donated it to a major museum, not in Midas's name, but in the name of the unknown, struggling artist. Lena's act of defiance and generosity did what her articles could not. It broke Midas's formula. By revealing a masterpiece to the world for its artistic, not its financial, value, she had short-circuited his entire system of manufactured scarcity. The art world, inspired by her example, began a frantic search for the next big thing on their own. a new gold rush for authentic, undiscovered talent. Midas's ability to create trends was gone. She hadn't exposed him, she had simply made him irrelevant by playing a better, more honest game. The day after the museum donation, Lena received a final, anonymous message. It was a single, encrypted file. It contained the location and access codes to Midas's entire, secret, multi-billion-dollar art collection, and a one-sentence will. You knew what to do with one painting. You will know what to do with the rest. He had not just retired. He had abdicated his throne, leaving his entire, priceless, secret kingdom in the hands of the one person he knew would not abuse its power. He had found his successor, after all. Midas vanished without a trace, his name and his methods fading into legend. He had been the ultimate cynic, a man who played the art world like a financial market. But in the end, in his final act, he revealed his own deeply hidden secret, a profound and ultimately redemptive love for art itself. He had spent his life collecting the world's most beautiful things, and his true masterpiece was his decision to finally set them free. Lena Petrova did not become the new Midas. She became his antithesis. She did not keep the collection hidden. She did not sell it. She used her new immense power to create the Midas Collection, the world's largest tuition-free public lending library of art. Masterpieces that were once the exclusive property of a single man were now sent on tour, exhibited in small-town libraries, in schools, in hospitals, in public squares. Her guiding principle was simple: genius belongs to everyone. She transformed the art world from a market of assets into an ecosystem of access. The value of a painting was no longer just its price at auction, but the number of people it had inspired, the number of young artists it had influenced. The artists Midas had discovered, now free from their exclusive contracts, became global ambassadors for this new philosophy, their early, priceless works now seen by millions. The Midas touch, once a secret formula for generating wealth, had become a public utility for generating wonder. Lena Petrova became the most beloved and respected figure in the art world, not because she could spot a trend, but because she believed that the only trend that mattered was the universal human connection to beauty. She was the journalist who sought a villain but found a complex benefactor, the critic who inherited a kingdom only to give it away to the public. She had won the game not by playing it better, but by changing its very purpose. The legend of Midas and his successor became a testament to a profound idea: that the ultimate act of possessing something beautiful is not to hide it, but to share it, and that the greatest legacy one can leave is not a collection of priceless objects, but a world that has been made richer, more beautiful, and more inspired by your passage through it.